Welcome to Clock In with Lynn. Welcome to Clock In with Lynn. Welcome to Clock In with Lynn. Hey friends, welcome to Clock In with Lynn. Y'all, I have missed y'all, and I am so excited about the show I have for y'all today, honey. I'm so excited. It is music and mindset that we'll be discussing, and y'all know everything starts up here. Everything starts in your mind. So I'm so excited about my guest today. I admire her so much. And I just wanted to share her with you guys. So I'm excited. Everybody get comfortable. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, Clock In with Lynn. I really appreciate everyone who continues to support. My heart is full. I am so thankful and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I see you. I see everyone that made comments, and I thank you guys so much. And y'all, let's just keep it going. I'm so excited. So let's clock in. Okay. She is a CEO of Music Industry Mastery with over 15 years of experience, y'all. She's a singer and songwriter. She's also a branding consultant who will help you get clear on what you want and where you want to go. Friends, help me welcome Dani Felt to the show, y'all. Hi, Dani.
I love your energy. Oh my God. I love it.
Oh, we're twinning today. We got our pink on.
God, twinning.
Be happy. You look beautiful. I am so happy for you to be here on Clock In with Lynn. I know you are busy, so I'm just over the moon excited. So thank you for being here and spending this little time with us.
I love your energy. It's it's contagious. I'm like, oh my God, I need her as my alarm clock every day.
I love it. I know I gave a little bit of the intro, but just introduce yourself. Tell our friends, like, what do you do? Where are you from? And then we'll get started. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Dani Felt. I am the CEO of Music Industry Mastery. I am a singer-songwriter. I help artists with marketing, PR, branding, and I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I just moved to LA.
Okay. Oh, you're a Philly girl. I love that. That's why you got that. I feel like from Philly got a certain hustle that like no other. So I love that. I love that. So how did you start? How did you get in the music industry? How did you know you wanted to be in the music industry?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted to get into music as an artist. I wrote music since I was 14 in the studios, and
Wow.
then I started a music blog, and I fell in love with the business side and just being an entrepreneur. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So just so I can understand in the audience, do you sign artists or how does that work? No. So you help all artists that are already established. Is that how that works?
So basically, artists hire me and my consulting partner for branding. So we help them figure out their logos and their colors they're using and their
Got it.
messaging, things like that, as well as like PR, as well as like marketing, digital advertising. So no, I don't sign any artists. I'm not a manager, not a label, definitely more marketing agency. Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to be clear because I didn't want people calling you like, Danny, sign me up, girls. So,
I'm
or
not a manager.
so everyone, so you'll be clear, she helps you with your branding and gets you, yeah, acclimated with that. I love that. So I know you've been in, like you said, you've been in the industry for 15 years. How have you seen the music industry change within those 15 years?
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, a lot. It used to be the point that, well, now like there's millions of songs uploaded every single day to Spotify. And so artists really need to figure out how to stand out, which is why the work me and Evan do is so important to really help them tell their story. Because if you're just as an artist or any brand just saying buy my stuff, like you need a reason for people to connect. You know, a long time ago, artists would release an album every couple years and labels would put like millions of dollars into marketing and everything like that. And now, you know, the game's changed so much. Anyone can release a song, but that's what makes it so much more competitive, you know, because anyone can release a song these days. So you need to stand out. You need to have a strong brand. So it's very much this day about building your audience and building your super fans and finding where you fit in the music world.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard people, we've had conversations with other friends and people in the industry and just entertainment industry, and they're everyone's saying it's more about the brand more than the actual music. So do you
Mm-hmm.
agree on that? Or because I
Yeah.
feel with everybody is about branding more than the talent of the music and things like that. So just touch a little bit on that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What me and Evan say a lot to artists is it's not about the music anymore. It's about the story.
Wow.
It's about how you connect to your audience and what your
Mm-hmm.
why is and why people should actually care what you're doing because it our attention because we're in the attention economy, you know, we're competing constantly with attention and so we need something that's going to stand out to people. And so that's why it's so important. That's what Evan, you know, talks about a lot with me and artists is like the attention economy and making sure your story stands out. So, you know, asking yourself, how can you connect to lifestyle? How can you connect to something more than just the song itself?
Mm-hmm. And that makes so much sense. And I just me thinking about the artists that I really love. I feel like I do just it's more like I love like the image of them and everything
Mhm.
they stand for.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that makes so much sense. So how important is it, do you think, to network, like networking in the music industry? How important is that?
Relationships are everything in the music industry, like
Mm,
everything. So, but maybe not saying networking all the time, maybe more about building relationships. Because
mm,
sometimes people don't like the connotation of networking because it's like, oh, it seems kind of superficial, but I mean, it is networking at the end of the day, but it's about building relationships, building aligned relationships. Because you can get a million cards, but it's what you do with those people and what your intention is with those people and the relationships you build and how much value you can offer them that really make the difference. So it's not necessarily about getting a million cards, but about getting quality relationships. And you know, one person can change your life. So it doesn't have to be a million business cards. It's about making sure like you understand what your intention and goals are and then finding people that can align with those.
mm-hmm. I love that. And I actually have a nephew that's in, like, he does music or whatever, but he's an introvert. Like, he hates talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
He's very like, he's one of those kids that just was very like into like producing music. He just was like focused on that, and he doesn't know how to really get out there and do that. Do you have any tips for anyone like that that is so like, they're driven, the music is great, but it's like they just have that, I guess, a lot, because a lot of these kids grew up in front of a computer. They, you know,
Yeah.
very, very, you know how it goes. It's not, they, the social skills are not there anymore.
Mm,
Lacking a
yeah.
lot of social skills. Is there anything that artists like that can do to maybe get themselves out there more?
Yeah, showing up to different shows, showing up to like artist shows, showing up to any kind of mixers and meetups, and Eventbrite always has like eventbrite.com always has different like music showcases. Just going there and being around other artists and introducing yourself to them, like, hey, I'm blah blah. And you could start just like complimenting them, like, hey, like, I like your hat, or if you see like a sports team that you love that they're wearing, like, oh, I love that team, or commenting on like anything about them to just start a conversation.
Right, right. That makes a lot of sense, and that it would kind of like ease the, the ice, make it more of an
Yeah,
icebreaker. Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
And I know, Dana, you say you do the branding consulting and the coaching. So do you, how do you help clients like achieve goals? Like, do you give everybody like a personal strategy, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we actually walk people through a 3-month program, and we give them specific questions to answer every single call. And so we help them figure out like their new bios and their website content and their talking points for podcasts. And so they end up with the whole brand Bible at the end of it. So it's like really powerful. And then they can use that the rest of their life in whatever they're doing, whether they're pitching themselves to managers or podcasts or sync opportunities or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. That's very helpful. And I know I met you at the mastermind with Lady, which was awesome. So when I met you, I was like, I know I have to have her on the show. I loved like when you spoke, and I know you talked a little bit about limited beliefs,
Yeah.
and speak a little bit about that, because that really impacts a lot of people's lives. And
Mhm.
I just want to share that with, because that was so powerful. Some of the things that you spoke about in that.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So it's really important to not only focus on your outer story, which is what we do a lot of, like teaching people how to build their story, but also what is your inner story? How do you view
Mm.
yourself, right? Like, do you view yourself as someone that's suffering, that things always going wrong? Is that your story? I hear a lot of people will say things like that. Oh, I can't afford this, or this is really expensive, or, why is this always happening to me? Or like, oh, of course it didn't work out, you
Yeah.
know? And they're building a story, but why focus your energy on building a story that is perpetuatingly negative and just not helping you? It's like self-sabotage, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
about, okay, like, maybe you're not at the financial place you want to be at, but how would that person start acting? How would they start dressing? How would they start speaking? And you almost are like building a character like a movie, like you're building this character and their story.
Mm. I love that. I love that. And I feel like I've used a lot of that, because I used to have, like, I used to think, well, because I grew up, you grow up, and, if you around people, and it's, a lot of people think negatively, or they think, very like you can't, possibilities are very like unachievable. So I had to really change my mindset, and really like force myself to start thinking more positive. So that really touched what you just said, because I know once you change, like when you change it in your head, it feels like everything just changes. It's like so
Yeah,
important. And I
yeah,
tell like my mentees this all the time, but it's really awesome to and it's awesome to just see the change of it, like when
mhm,
you're living like that. So, what are some of the common obstacles people face when trying to change, like um, any negative mindset? Like any of your clients, is it anything that's common that comes up for like any of your clients? Is
Yeah,
it?
I would say perfectionism is a big one.
Ooh,
Like just
ooh,
comparing themselves to everyone else on social
ooh.
media. Like we'll have a client, they'll get like 50,000 views on a reel, and then they'll say that's not good enough, you know? And so
Wow.
it's like, because there's like, social media makes it so easy to just compare yourself to other people and to just watch what everyone is doing 24/7. It can be really easy to get caught up in just like feeling like not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
I think a really big key about that is like just understanding like you're worthy for just being here, and that's kind of like a dives into a very spiritual perspective, but just like understanding like the chances of you being here is so rare. So you just being here is like enough for you to be worthy of and deserving of everything. And, everything else is just a bonus.
Oh, that's good, Danny. That's so good. Oh my God, that's so good. And because I always do say, what's meant for you is meant for you. But it took me a while to get there.
Oh,
But now,
yeah.
it takes a lot of preparation. It takes a lot of that. Like speaking to people like you and coaches and therapists and things like that. How long? Like, have you seen a certain time frame to where a person can go from like any of your clients that were like just broken, and then you see like progression? Like, do you see anything, like is it like 6 months, a year? Like, have you had any clients that were quick to understand it? Or
I,
just talk a little bit about that.
I think it's a lifelong journey because
Okay.
we can be really like on top of the world and oh my god, we got so many streams, or my music just came out, or I got something on TV. But doubt can creep back in, unworthiness can creep back in, fear of like success could also be a big one. Like subconsciously, some artists, including me sometimes, can be so afraid of actually succeeding and being so big
Yeah.
that it's easy to just like go hide and like,
Mhm.
or like do something to self-sabotage because secretly we're like, oh no, we can't handle this, so we're just gonna like ruin this. And if our story is like things don't work out, that can be a really good example, and I've definitely done that many 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 times.
Mhm.
And I still can feel anxiety when things like are too much, like too big. I'll be like, well, like, no. Like, it's just easier and safer to just walk over here and play small and, all of that. So I think it is just becoming really self-aware of your own limiting beliefs. And I even built a course on this to like help people just like walk through, even just like recording yourself and hearing your self-talk, you know,
Ooh,
and like
good one.
kind of creating shifts from just that, because if you talk really negatively and you start hearing, you're like, man, I talk really bad about myself. Why am I
Right,
so
right.
mean to myself?
Wow. I'm gonna have to try that. I'm gonna have to try that. I've never really recorded myself like talking and
Yeah,
just seeing. That's powerful. I
it's so
love that.
powerful. It
And do
really
you?
is a game
Mhm. No, you
changer.
know.
Yeah, no, it's a game changer when you're aware of your thoughts. Then you have more control because you're like, oh, like I'm constantly, saying this about myself. Maybe I
Wow.
can shift that.
Right.
It
Right.
takes time though. It's not overnight. Like I've taken years and years and years of classes
Mhm.
on personal development and manifestation and energetics and all kinds of stuff. So it's not like just, oh, you work with someone and all of a sudden they're famous or they have no doubt ever. But I
Yeah.
think you can get faster at shifting when you have more awareness. I think awareness is one of the biggest keys.
Yeah. And I agree. I always tell myself when I get busy and work is coming, we all want to live the life that we want to live and have the career that we want. I always say, I got this from a really good friend, and I share this with everyone. I always say, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm over blessed. So when it
Love
all comes, I don't complain about it. I just figure it out. Maybe take a moment of silence, but I don't ever sit back like, oh my God, it's just way too much. Like I calm myself down, and I'm just like, I'm not overwhelmed. I'm over blessed. Everything is
over
coming.
blessed.
Ask for this. It's coming, and I'm enjoying every
You
part of
need a
it.
t-shirt that's not trademarked called Over Blessed.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So
So,
good.
do you have any success stories of any of your clients that have transformed, like in any way, like anything like a personal growth or even business professional growth or anything like that? Do you want to share any clients?
Yeah, I mean, I say I have one artist that grew to 700,000 followers on TikTok, and
Wow.
I wouldn't take the blame, not blame. I wouldn't say I'm the cause of that. He worked really hard and he posts content all the time. You know, it really takes like a lot of work to do that. But what
Mm-hmm.
I could say is I saw his confidence start to shift and him becoming more in his own power, him speaking up more. When I first met him, I think he was kind of like scared to say a lot and kind of just, you know, agreed with a lot of things. And I could see he definitely is like coming to his own now. He's just becoming more confident and speaking up for himself and things like that. So I think, you know, just helping him with building his confidence and putting him around other people that have done like a lot of similar things. And, you know, I put him with one of my people that did a lot of brand deals. And so she kind of talked about what he actually should be getting paid. And I think that kind of was like a light bulb in his head. Um, so that's, I think, a good example, just like watching artists become more confident and like find themselves. I have another client that did my manifestation programs, and like she manifested really amazing like dream jobs that she wanted, you know, in like real estate. And like, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
would say it just it just creates such a difference. The mindset work and the inner work and practicing it and just applying it, it really shifts things. And when you combine that with the other stuff, like the branding stuff, the marketing stuff, the website stuff, the content, whatever else we can do for someone, it's a game changer, because you know the inner work is such a key.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's such key. That inner work is it's
It's
everything.
such
It
a key.
saved my life. Like
Yeah,
I like it's crazy because I struggle with ADHD,
me
and
too.
it's hard for me to focus. So Danny,
Mhm.
I just couldn't even like meditate for like 1 minute. Like my mind would be all over the place. And I would
Mhm.
just be like, but now I'm getting better at meditation, and it has helped me tremendously, and it's helped me with my inner work, and it's so effective. It's just so effective.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you too. Um, what advice or any words of wisdom would you offer to someone who wants to pursue the music industry? Because the music
Mhm.
industry is very tough.
Oh yeah.
So, anything like any words of wisdom that you would like to share?
Yeah. And I would say this is what we focus a lot with artists on, is figuring out your why. Like,
Hmm.
why do you want to do music? Why should people care? Like, what does it matter? Right. And that
Hmm.
could be, maybe you want to impact people. Maybe you want to just be famous, but why do you want to be famous?
Right.
You know, like if you have it, what now? Right. Versus just
Hmm.
like the angle being famous, but like, but why do you want to be famous? Like,
Hmm.
what is that? What is the feeling you want out of that? That's actually usually the case of why people want things, is like how we feel about it. So, for example, if someone wants to be famous, most likely they don't feel seen and heard now, right? And
Hmm.
so, how can they start feeling seen and heard now? Because we're going for all these things that really end up being because of how we want to feel at the end of the day. Like, usually people want status, like, want to be wealthy because of status, like, of the power of like feeling like they're not good enough until they have that. And so, I think that's a big part of it, is like asking yourself, why do you want to do music? For me, I want to do music because I want to empower people and I want people to like feel something and my music to touch them in some way, right? Some people might connect with mental health, and making music to really help people feel happy or help people feel better. Some people might want to talk about the hardships of how they grew up and, use that to inspire other people. So I think figuring out your why,
Mm-hmm.
and also figuring out like the style of music that you want to do and like who your heroes are and like where you want to go.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that so much. I just want, and I wanted to ask you too, what is something you really, really love about your job? Like, what do you
Mhm.
love about it?
I
What
love
makes you
watching.
smile when you think of about what you do every day?
I love the branding packages I do with Evan because by the end of the 3 months, like the artist has so much clarity on who they are, and a lot of times they're not really aware of all those answers until they work with us, and then they have all these aha moments. So
Mm,
it's just really amazing watching artists like go through that process of just like clarity of who they are and why they're doing what they're doing and how it connects to lifestyle and all of that. So I would say that's a big part of it. um, I would say also I love helping artists with the mindset stuff. Like,
mhm,
yeah, that I think is my favorite thing in the whole world. It's just like
mhm,
helping people shift perspectives. It was really
mhm.
interesting. Like, I had one client recently and she didn't feel well. And so I felt to do like EFT work with her, emotional freedom technique. And so I did that with her and we tapped. Do you know what that is?
I was going to ask you. I was going to let you finish, and I was like, share that because I don't think I've heard of that before. Is
Oh
that
my
potassium?
God, it's so powerful. So you tap on meridian points
I think I
and
did hear about it. But tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more.
it shifts things. It moves, like you tap on meridian points and the energy like shift, like it moves
Mm,
things to release. And so for some reason we did all this tapping on being famous and fear of success, as well as like feeling healthy. And I was like, how do you feel? And she's like, oh my God, I feel so much better.
wow.
And that was like physically, she wasn't feeling well, like her throat or whatever in her head. And she said the tapping helped her like move energy and she just like felt better. So a lot of times it's really emotional and mental versus just physical.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we
Mm-hmm.
clear some of that, it just creates shifts. And I'm also a Reiki healer, so you
Oh, I
know
love that.
maybe some of that's also connected. But I did pray about it. When I did the EFT work, I like to pray, I like to ask angels to guide, and for them to hear people to hear whatever I'm supposed to help them with at that moment. So I do love incorporating like the holistic stuff into things because I think it just makes such a big difference. And artists suffer with a lot of mental health and a lot of confidence issues and a lot of self sabotage. Because it's a competitive world. It is not an easy music industry world.
It is not like any like everything. It just seems like everything is like times 10 to where it used to be as far as like
Yeah,
competition and things like that.
yeah,
And I know
absolutely.
we're getting close to the end, but I would just want to ask you this: um, how can one like how can our mindset influence like our relationships, both like
Mhm.
personally and professionally? Like just a little bit on that, and then we'll get close to closing.
Yeah, so relationships can impact our mind. No, how our mindset can impact relationships.
Mm-hmm.
How our mindset can impact relationships. Trying to think of like the best way to answer this question. Well, it's
More.
really important. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's really important to be really conscious of your relationships related to your mindset. So I'd almost say that your relationships impact your mind.
Mm.
Because if you're around people that are constantly negative or constantly doubting or constantly talking about everything going wrong in the world and watching news 24/7 and being in anxiety 24/7, I mean, that is what's going to affect your mindset. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so important to be so selective with the people you surround yourself with.
Mm-hmm. And I had to do that too when I was going through my personal healing. I had to, even though I still love, some of the friends, family, whatever, but I did have to
Mhm.
remove some people that constantly would talk negatively or, minimize like what I would talk to them about. I would like be on the phone. If they start talking down, I'm like, okay, girl, I got to call you back. But I just get there because I couldn't believe how much I would sit around and just listen to that. That affects you so much.
Oh my God.
You have to change that.
So much.
Yes, you have just dropped some gems today. I'm so thankful for you. So tell the people, what do you have coming up? How can they find you before we close? But I'm so thankful for you being here. So how can they find you on social media, or how do they contact you if they want to work with you?
Yeah, so they can follow me on Instagram at Dani Felt Inspires. It's DANIFELT, like felt the material. Inspires, Dani Felt Inspires. They can go to my website, danifelt.com. They can email me at danny@danifelt.com. Yeah.
I love it.
I
love it. I love it. I love it. Tell Evan I said hi. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here on Clock In with Lynn. Like powerful, powerful, powerful. I love all of this. This just makes my heart smile because, like I said, I'm going through that journey, and I just love hearing these type of conversations because it is so needed in the world right now. So many things on, and we need this. This is what we need. So thank you, Dani, for being here and sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, Dani.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I told y'all. I love, these are the kind of conversations that I love having. I love it because we are just in a place, the world is in a place of healing. We need these type of conversations. We need these experts that know how to heal and how to help. So I'm just appreciative for Dani for being here today. And I know you guys will enjoy it. If you, it will be on a replay. If you want to see the replay, make sure you share, make sure you share it with a friend, anyone in the music industry, anybody interested in like the mindset of it. And it was just great information. And I just love you guys. Like I said before, I'm so appreciative of every one of you who continue to support Clock In with Lynn. I'm so excited. And I have more to come. It's so many things in the works that I will share. But like I said, I like to share when I know everything is in place and confirmed. So thanks again, everyone. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Like I said, be kind to yourself. And please be kind to others. Life is so short, and just focus on the good. Focus on the good. I know there's ups and downs, but God is good. That's all I got to say. God is good. Bye, y'all. Welcome to Clock In with Lynn.